Being a politician may look glamorous from the outside, but in reality, it is a life full of compromises. Many people assume politicians hold ultimate power, but the truth is that most of them are constantly restricted by party agendas, lobby groups, and public opinion. Instead of making bold decisions, they often spend more time negotiating, trading favors, and adjusting their positions to keep everyone satisfied. This illusion of power becomes a daily frustration, as they realize they are less free than they appear. Constant public scrutiny. Unlike most professions, politicians live under a microscope. Every word they say, every gesture they make, and even their personal lives are monitored and judged. A single slip of the tongue can end a career, and one old photo from decades ago can suddenly resurface to destroy public trust. The pressure of knowing that millions of eyes are watching and waiting for them to fail makes the job suffocating. Endless criticism. No matter what decision a politician makes, someone will always be unhappy. If they raise taxes, they anger businesses. If they cut taxes, they anger the public that relies on government services. If they pass a law, half the population praises them while the other half protests in the streets. Living in a constant storm of criticism, where every choice creates enemies, slowly erodes their mental well-being. Work-life balance is non-existent. Politicians do not get normal weekends or evenings with their families. Their phones are always buzzing with calls from advisors, journalists, or party leaders. Vacations are cut short, family dinners are interrupted, and even private moments are often sacrificed for political duties. The line between personal and professional life completely disappears, leaving many politicians burned out and disconnected from their loved ones. The cost of campaigning. Running for office is not just about ideas, it is about money, strategy, and survival. Campaigning is brutally expensive and mentally draining. Politicians spend months traveling from city to city, shaking hands, attending rallies, and begging for donations. The stress of constantly smiling for cameras, delivering speeches, and competing against rivals takes a heavy toll. Winning feels like survival, but losing feels like total humiliation. The influence of money. Even after being elected, politicians face the overwhelming influence of money. Lobbyists, corporations, and wealthy donors constantly pressure them to shape laws in their favor. The system often forces politicians to choose between pleasing the people who voted for them or the ones who fund their campaigns. This corruption of values makes many politicians feel trapped and powerless in their own careers. The burden of responsibility. Every decision made by a politician has consequences that affect millions of lives. Unlike most jobs, one mistake in policy can destroy communities, economies, or even cost lives. This burden creates a crushing weight that many politicians silently carry. While the public sees them as power-hungry, many quietly suffer from the anxiety of knowing that their choices could ruin futures. Lack of privacy. For politicians, privacy is a luxury they can never enjoy. Their homes are watched by reporters, their families are harassed by paparazzi, and even their medical histories or bank accounts can become front-page news. A normal person can make mistakes in private, but a politician has no such shield. They live every moment exposed to the public eye. The risk of scandals. No matter how careful they are, scandals haunt politicians. Sometimes they are guilty, but other times a rumor, an exaggerated story, or even a false accusation can destroy their reputation overnight. The fear of being cancelled or politically assassinated by the media forces them to live cautiously, always paranoid that the next headline could be their downfall. Endless sacrifice with little appreciation. The biggest tragedy of being a politician is that despite all the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the loss of privacy, the family strain, and the crushing responsibility, most politicians are still hated by the very people they try to serve. Even if they dedicate their lives to improving society, their legacy is often overshadowed by criticism, suspicion, and mistrust. In the end, politics often feels like a thankless job where you give everything and receive nothing in return. Conclusion. Being a politician is not as glamorous as it seems. Behind the fancy suits, the speeches, and the titles, lies a life of endless scrutiny, sacrifices, and crushing responsibility. It is a career that looks powerful but often leaves those who pursue it broken, exhausted, and misunderstood. While society demands leadership, few truly understand the personal cost of stepping into the political arena.